Well, they've got some different guys on that defense now than they did last year, a couple spots. But I think, anytime you run against those ACC teams, you know what you're going to get for the most part. You're going to get those tough boxes, and you're going to get those defenses that they're going to bring it. So I think definitely, I do remember that. I know they had a linebacker that was a top 3-round draft pick last year, so I know running against him was a little tough. And even in past years, they've had DM, Bradley Chubb. Yeah, so they've had, their front seven has been no joke since I've been here. So I think we have a huge opportunity really to run on them like we have been, and kind of increase what we've done in the past, and kind of get this thing back on track.
When Dennis came in against Louisville, you could tell he was on butterflies and adrenaline.
Uh-huh.
Now that he's got a week, do you see more of a composure about him? I mean, kind of settling into the role, I guess I'm asking.
Right, yeah. No, anytime, you get a guy like that thrown in the game, it's different. He hasn't been doing that, hasn't been the leader of the offense up to this point. So for him to jump in there, and I thought he played great against Louisville. I thought he went in there and just kind of let it loose and did his thing. And that's an Ohio guy, so he'll get the job done. Don't worry about that. But yeah, definitely to see him go in there and do that is a huge confidence boost for the offense in general. The quarterback of the offense, he's got to be able to lead everyone, and everyone's got to be able to kind of be able to jump on his back and whatnot, so to speak. So I think he's doing a great job, and I think he's coming out here and working every day and trying to get better and do the best that he can do to replace Anthony for while he needs to do that, and do what he needs to do that.
It seemed against Louisville the tight ends was like a security blanket, but now with a week of practice, can he get it to all parts of the field and get screens, outside passes?
Right. Yeah, no. I definitely think Dennis will be, he'll be able to get that out onto the perimeter a little bit more than we were able to against Louisville. I mean, our tight ends played great, so that was awesome, to kind of see them get the ball around and get in the end zone a few times. But yeah, we'll definitely, this week of practice and this additional bye week, to get those extra practices in there with Dennis is huge, especially with the skill guys. You get certain guys in these, when we're kind of out throwing routes on air and whatnot, and we're used to catching and throwing with Anthony.
Right, yeah.
So you get Dennis in there throwing with certain guys, that definitely helps out, no doubt.
What were some of the things you noticed about just the way he went about his work as a walk-on, as a backup?
Right.
Kind of got guys to kind of get behind him.
Yeah. No, like I said, Dennis an Ohio guy, so from the second he's got here, I've kind of had that relationship with him and talked about that and kind of used that as our personal bond. But I think him in general, his work ethic is through the roof. He works as hard as anyone does on this team, and to say that about a walk-on, a guy that kind of claws and fights for what he can get here, that's something that I see as someone on scholarship on this team, that you definitely take notice of that. You see those guys, even when he was just running our scout team, last year or whatever that was, he was really giving our defense looks. He was running hard. He was running through tackles, not really no regard for his body. So to a guy come out here and do that, and the whole team to see him do that, he already had a standard of what people knew he was about, and kind of what he brought to the table. So I'm definitely excited, to see him, where he's going the rest of this season. But yeah, Dennis he's been that kind of guy. He's been a hard edge, straight nosed guy, and always been about his business.
And describe, I guess, the Ohio connection, because I don't want to make too much of it. It's not there, but like, did you kind of like make a point of going to see him when he first got here, or did you say, hey man, like I know where you're from? Like, what was that?
Yeah.
Like bond, like when you initially.
Right. Yeah, and I had played against Dennis a couple of times in high school.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, Cleveland St. Ignatius and St. X. That was kind of like, it's kind of a big rivalry. We play them on Saturday afternoons.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that was fun, to kind of be able to get him up here and recognize another.
You already knew.
Yeah. No, I knew who he was, but to get him up here, get another Ohio guy on the team, and just kind of have that relationship to just, kind of little locker room stuff, just small things. It's nice to have that connection with him, and I love Ohio. That's my spot. So I got a lot of respect for Ohio and Ohio football, and Dennis coming from that.
Thanks.
Yeah, but you're from Ohio here, and he's from Ohio there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
Got a
about
little-
300 miles in
yeah,
between.
No, there's a lot of distance there.
I'm just curious, like the Catholic leagues dominate in this state. Is it kind of the same out there?
Yeah, I think for the most part, up north is a little different. There's some public schools that they can play some ball up north, and then in Southeast Ohio, Coleraine High School is like the predominant public school. But yeah, for the most part, I think I think the private schools kind of dominated and have dominated in past years.
And they're like the feeder systems for the Big Ten. And,
Right. Big Ten, ACC, those kind of schools roll around there.